Hi, and thanks again for pressing play this time. Um, I just want to go ahead and express my thanks for everyone that is here and paying attention because this is something that's going to be, at least for now, just a continuing expansion of just the introduction of not only myself but these ideas, and then we'll go ahead and, you know, in the future we'll get down to. That doesn't really make sense. That's not the organizational structure. This overall thing. It's not going to be a series of introductions, and definitely, I promise. But there's a lot of um, just a lot of literary devices that are out there that I'm going to go ahead and break down and use as small a words as I can and as many of them. So we've got as many little pieces that'll fit together in one huge interlocking thing that as I transmit it, hopefully it'll take shape and it's in a unified sense that when it gets in your head, you're not going to have different areas of human knowledge that you conceived of beforehand, as before. Like you won't see chemistry and biology and physics as different subjects, different areas of human knowledge, including like English literature, the arts, but you name it. We're going to see this as a unified whole, and that's the goal of this um, science part of this shit. And so we're going to use the theory of evolution to discuss a lot of things that will accomplish that. That's how I learned it. So that's the only way I know how to transmit it. In the most effective way possible. So, and and part of the thing that's most crucial to get is that this is a theory that governs the behavior of matter in general. This is not a biological theory per se. This is now that we're not in under Newtonian paradigm by which things are understood holistically in terms of the universe. Um, and so this is going to also include, you know, crash course on relativity and what that um, includes as you know a list of new implications for everything including the theory of evolution. But evolution is a grand narrative, you know, but significantly, it's an algorithm that governs the behavior of self-replicating entities in general. Whether you make a little robot that knows how to make copies of itself, just absorbing the building block materials in its surroundings to incorporate that in the formation of new structures or copies of itself, or you got a chemical molecule that does the same thing, it just makes copies of itself. You've got to understand that the way science defines that which is alive, the only way we can determine whether or not a given clump of matter is alive or not is we ask the question: does it make copies of itself? That is the way in which life is defined. Um, and so we're going to go ahead and talk about um, what happens when you've got a situation where you've got a self-replicating process that's going on in the situation. You got to see this as an order of magnitude difference here because, for example, you take a checkerboard. There's 66 squares on the checkerboard, 66 iterations of a self-replicating process that can be going on. So, for example, let's take one piece of rice and put it on the first square, and then double from there. Two pieces of rice on the second square, four the next, eight the next. And after 66 iterations of that algorithm unfolding, by the 66th iteration, you're going to have not enough rice in all of China to put on that square because that's how fast it expands and grows. So we're going to look at what happens when that happens in an enclosed space. Um, there's a, at what point at some point there's not going to be enough space for this to continue indefinitely. There's going to be a crunch, and we're going to look at the differential self-replication um, um, ranges of success that will happen to that point. So it's not all just going to freeze and everything stop. Some self-replicating entities will slow down the replicating process. They won't make as, they won't quite reach the doubling threshold. Some will stop altogether, and some will continue going just as fast. And so it's a theory that, just to put your mind at ease, I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. It's a um, mindful way of looking at things in general, and it's not anything that will require faith at all whatsoever. I'm not asking you to buy it, any kind of faith at all whatsoever. I'm going to explain this in terms of a mathematical principle we can look at on paper and see how it governs things that we can simulate by a machine. And so this is something that's more fundamental than typically is understood by people who aren't familiar with um, the theory itself. You've never come across it as available by someone trying to teach it to you by I want you to understand what it says about itself, not what other people say about it. And so That's hugely significant, and especially when we get to relativity, because you're going to understand it in a new framework for understanding everything. Um, and the reason why I wanted another reason why is because it naturally lends itself to a lot of the notions of natural law theory itself, which is another theory um, that states that the same laws that govern the behavior of all matter in general, that which um, same laws that govern the behavior of the motion of the planets, the stars, the motion of um, the waves in the ocean, why water flows downhill, balls roll downhill, why things happen the way they do. There's physical laws in play, like gravity, thermodynamics, all these things. Those same laws are where human morality, notions of good and evil are derived, and why our laws are fundamentally not just a hodgepodge of, at the end of it, opinion based on our preferences from our, you know, a priori, position in life. It's not just what's good for me. It's not an opinion. These things are derived from a higher rationale that transcends human existence. So these things we could look at any situation and figure out the good and evil in any set of circumstances, what to do um, based on math and so it's a very different way of looking at um, the source of power in any society. The opposing view is legal positivism, which states that the law is only that which is capable of being enforced. It's just a command that you can make others do. Um, that need not require any kind of high rationale going on. We a system of precedence. So, but what happens when you get to the highest authority, the Supreme Court in this case? What's the methodology going through the judge's mind as he's making a decision? And so we have to say, does he have any guiding principles, a rubric that he looks at when he's making his decisions? The answer, of course, is yes. And in the same holds true in the military situation. You got a leader in his cadre that are willing to follow authoritarian commands blindly without any hesitation, which they must. But you got to understand that leader, does he have reasons for asking his troops to do what they do, and if he doesn't, it's not gonna there's not gonna be a desirable state of affairs existing for very long. Let's just put it that way. So we've got to understand that this is a very orderly transition um, in thought. This is nothing that's going to ask you to, believe something that you don't feel safe in believing. This is you're not going to be believing something. You're going to be knowing something, and that's what needs to be understood from the get go. And and moreover, I'll get to, more reasons why this is also a form of saying that the adversarial system is wrong. Advocates of that would argue that the adversarial law is a process that gets at the truth in the most efficient way. But that's more bullshit, because at the end of the day, the highest standard of virtue under that framework is that individual rights as defined as in governed directly by the Constitution. Individual rights are the highest standard of virtue, and the reason why that's bullshit is because the truth is the highest standard of virtue, especially in a legal system. I would assume. Um, so the notion that it's a process by which the truth is uncovered in the most efficient way, that's counterintuitive. It makes no sense. So um, I can only really illustrate you know this by looking at an opposing system that's in place now in Europe, post-war Germany, and some of the Axis countries that have a Habermasian um, rule imposed. It's where you just have a team of scientists, a team of forensics that explain what happened, and then you do what they said. Um, there's no, um, there's none of this throwing the evidence out because it was acquired improperly. The police don't get punished because um, they acquired it. They found a dead body in somebody's house, but they found that dead body without permission to go inside first. So we got to throw all the evidence out to punish the police, so they know not to do it again. That's like the TV show Law and Order versus the TV show CSI. Um, do we hold these these um, these highfalutin bullshit notions of individual rights as the most important thing in society, or do we hold the truth itself? And so that's what I'm asking you to consider. This will be a further extrapolated and much more, finally iterated points of transition from getting from here to there. But I can tell you now that this is the overview of what I'm asking you to consider. Uh, but natural law theories, it's more significant intrinsically because it's talking about these natural laws giving rise to human morality itself. And in that effort of explanation, I'll just offer you that um, you can view all human activity as the arrangement of material objects that are governed by physical laws. We don't stand outside of nature. The laws of gravity don't stop at biology; they're still in effect. And so you can almost think of it physical mass of your body. You can look at the point on Earth, GPS coordinates location of where you were born, and then where the GPS coordinates of where you died, and the line that your life drew in between those 2 points, and the distance that mass was carried. Um, you can understand it. Um, um, let's put this is hard to really say that fast because there's a lot of ideas in here that getting jostled around right now because I don't usually talk about this stuff. I usually write it down and read. Um, Sorry, I'll get back in a minute. Kind of spacey right now. Mm. It's the hmm. Fuck this. I'm gonna brain fart bad. Just look at my face for a little bit. You can understand it as this. Uh, well, fuck it. Bye.